The Orsini family has held influence and power for centuries. However, most don't even know the name. Let's get into it. When people talk about powerful families, you'll hear names like Rockefeller or Rothschild, but one name a lot of people don't speak of is the Orsini. Now, the family emerges in Rome around the 11th century, right as the Catholic Church is becoming the most powerful institution in Europe. And by the 1200s, the Orsini weren't just nobles, they were church royalty, or what history today calls black nobility. Take Giovanni Gaetano Orsini, who became Pope Nicholas III in 1277. His papacy is openly documented as one of the most nepotistic in Vatican history. He appointed relatives to key positions, consolidated land, and actually strengthened his family's control over Rome and the Papal States. Across centuries, the Orsini have produced 5 popes and at least 34 cardinals, which matters because cardinals are the ones who elect the popes. So that means they weren't just in power, they actually helped decide who got power. The Orsini controlled fortresses and territory all across Rome, Lazio, Umbria, and southern Italy even, and would intermarry with other elite houses like the Medici and European royalty. Power married power for centuries. In modern times, the Orsini are often named among what people call the 13 bloodlines, 13 different lineages that have held power for thousands and thousands of years. Empires fell, revolutions happened, governments reset. They didn't. The Orsini and Colonna were leaders of opposing political parties. The Orsini supported the Pope's authority, and the Colonna favored the Holy Roman Emperor. The feud between the Orsini and Colonna families is one of the most violent in European history. The Orsini actually had literature written about them back in the 1200s, where they were accused of devil worship. Tensions rose between the Orsini and Colonna in 1303 when a Colonna slapped a pope who was affiliated with the Orsini. The feud ended after nearly 300 years with the Pax Romana in 1511. Then roughly 60 years later, Pope Sixtus V arranged for the heads of both families to marry 2 of his nieces. Power marries power. Next, let's talk about the feud between the Orsini and the Borgia. Yes, that Borgia, the likeness of Jesus Christ. He was actually an insane maniac. Caesar Borgia was the most ambitious of the illegitimate children of Cardinal Rodrigo Borgia, who also became Pope Alexander VI, and the Orsini, who were major landholders, opposed the expansion of Pope Alexander VI. In 1496, Caesar destroyed the Orsini-controlled Viano Castle. The famous example of Machiavellian tactics, Caesar would invite them to Sinigalla in 1502, and upon arrival, he would actually have them arrested, and later have them executed. Yes, Caesar Borgia was friends with the Machiavelli. Despite the setbacks, the Orsini would finally have Caesar arrested after the suspicious death of Pope Alexander VI. Before the Orsini rise in the papacy, Jews were mostly segregated, confined to neighborhoods along the Tiber River, restricted in their work, and limited in how they could have moved around the city and interact with the people. Under Orsini rule, that all changed. For the first time in centuries, Jews were allowed more freedom. Then after the Orsini papal influence waned, the restrictions returned. Pope Paul IV in 1555 built the Roman ghetto, literally walling the Jews inside, limiting freedom and confining them to a single district. Interesting, right? The Orsini lineage is still alive and well today. Dukes, dons, and princes, and even one some call the Gray Pope.